Hi, I'm Demi Kamel, and I am here with my World Problem Project for my English 3 class for Ms. Huff. Today is April 22nd of 2019, and today we'll be discussing corruption in the media. I am here with Nadia Kamel. Hi Nadia, how are you?
Hello, I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
So one of my first questions is, what is your understanding of the media and paparazzi?
My understanding of the media is that it is an outlet for providing information to the world, basically. The paparazzi, although they too are providing information, they do it on a different scale.
Mm-hmm.
It's more in the now, where the media is like real life events and things that maybe matter that impact the world. Paparazzi is more like people that impact the world or influence the world. They're not really reporting on events that are occurring in the world as much as they are reporting on people.
Okay. All right. Why do you think corruption in the media exists?
Corruption in the media exists like really kind of anything. Corruption in business, corruption in sports, and the reason why is because they will do anything that it takes to be the first to report, to be to headline the big stories. They are after people, and not always in a good way. Like when I say after people, meaning that if I am a person who does not like a particular party or a particular person, or I'm going to find the negatives. And I do believe that that is what corrupts media, is that you have a lot of biases out there.
Mm-hmm.
So why does it exist? Because if I can report something bad about somebody that maybe half the world doesn't, like, then it pays to be corrupt. I hate to say it like that, but that's generally what it is.
Mm-hmm. What memories do you have of any interaction you may have regard in the media or paparazzi, whether that's including your work or your social life?
So socially, I work in finance, so my name is definitely out there for people to be able to review me, make sure that, when they are using services that I provide, that I have a clean record, things like that. So yeah, it definitely affects me. I need to constantly scan and make sure that any information out there is accurate about me. So if I work with clients, and although it's not always face-to-face, a lot of it is over the phone interaction. If they don't like what I tell them, or if my response to them is not what they want, they can immediately turn to social media, they can turn to, media outlets and report negative information about myself. And not just generally about my company, but about myself. So, for example, I have had a situation where I had a client literally request my full name, which legally I must provide to them, and did go out and blast about me, stating that, very, very false information, like basically that I lied to her and that I provided false information, although everything, luckily for me, is on a recorded line. It's not just what she says. So if anybody tries to pursue what she stated about me, it is recorded, and they have it for evidence. So sometimes media and audio is good, but not always.
How does media in America compare to media in other areas of the world?
I feel like we only report what is in, what is in the best interest of the outlets. Meaning, if it is, it's always negative. Let's put it that way. It's rare for you to find like a feel-good story. A lot of times feel-good stories are done by shows versus news media. Other countries report on, it's difficult for me to say just simply because the only real other country that I've ever looked at in their news would be like BBC. And although they do report world news, it is actually world news. It's not so much like he said, she said. It's more like, here's the event, here's the video, here's what I see, here's what I'm reporting. I think here in America, we tend to, again, use biases. And we are more about the hearsay than we are the actual facts.
Now, in your past experiences with whether it be somebody put a bad rap on your name, how do people treat you differently when finding something false about you?
So, depending on what it is that's false, it could have either effect. It can either have a very negative effect on you or a positive effect on you. Maybe I won the lottery, but I didn't. People want to become my friend. Why? Because now I have something that they might need or want to use or feel they can benefit from it. Or if there's something negative, like I shot and killed somebody, which I didn't, then people don't want to know me. They want to stay away from me. They're going to maybe damage my home or damage my vehicle, something like this, whether they know it to be fact or not. So yeah, if something is reported against me in a negative manner, it can very much affect me, especially in my line of work.
So, with that being said, how do you think the media and paparazzi has changed from when you were growing up back in the 80s?
Yeah, significantly. It's changed a lot. Back in the 80s, we didn't have social media. We didn't have the internet.
Yeah.
Today, things are immediate. News is reported as it is happening, where back then, you may have only found out about an event or an occurrence no more, 24 or 48 hours was nothing. Like for them to say this has happened versus this is happening, that is basically the difference between today and back when I was growing up.
Okay. What is something that you would like to see change in the media?
I'd like to see paparazzi go away, really, just because it is honestly a danger. I think not only just to the celebrities, but to people, general people. There's an interview that I was watching. It wasn't even an interview. It was just one of those real reality TV paparazzi type shows like a TMZ, where they had caught up with Justin Bieber and he was driving his car on like a major street in Hollywood, and they were side by side with him, and so he's talking to them, the paparazzi's talking to him, and they have his attention rather than him having the attention, his eyes on the road. Like he doesn't know if somebody's walking across the street, if the light turned or changed colors, but it also brings a hazard to him because now other people are noticing what's happening in the vehicles, and so now they're chasing and wanting to get his attention. And at the same time, like right at the very end of this interview, which it ended simply because he sped away. And I'm not talking about like, oh, he maybe went 10 miles over the speed limit. We're talking about like he peeled out of there and he's driving a kind of vehicle that can go 0 to 60 in maybe 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so yeah, it definitely is dangerous. I don't think that. I know that celebrities maybe like them, you know, because it keeps them in the focus or in the limelight.
Mm-hmm.
But I should say spotlight. But yeah, I don't need to know who they're dating and what they're wearing and whatever. If I can go back to the way it used to be, which was in fashion magazines.
Yeah. With that being concluded, is there anything else that you would like to say about the media or paparazzi or just the topic in general?
I just wish that in the media especially, that they definitely do more fact checking instead of like, this is happening, you know, like this is what is happening, where it's actual factual information and not we think, we suspect, we this or that. It's I don't need to know that, because this is definitely, it leads to confusion, and we don't need that in the media.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it with you answering these questions.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
I will hope to see you again soon.
Well, thank you.